Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Jobber Radio Prediction League Frontline, JRPL Frontline, for everyone who has been paying attention. And I am your co-host, Scott. No longer the UV champion, but still the world champion because he didn't defend it, and we still don't have Money in the Bank cashing in. Is the JRPL world champion, longest reigning there's ever been, and other records that are coming up eventually. BeerMeJesus, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm sorry to see you lose your title.
Yeah, well, we got one champ still here, and this champ has been here the entire time that Frontline's been on, and I've won and lost mine already during that, so there you go. I do think, Bear Me, that you've had your title longer than I've had all of my titles combined. Like, I had
Maybe.
the Road Warrior for 5 days, had this one for like 2 months. Both tags were within the tournament, so that was no more than a month or two. Yeah. No, I've had my titles for a total of, I think, maybe 4 months, start to finish. Even the Canadian was like 3 on top of that. So you're already at like 11 months, 10 months. So BeerMeJesus is our world champion, still the champ. Good to have you here, champ. We have our recap of JRPL TakeOver. But first things first, as always, this is on JobberRadio.com, JRPL Official on Twitter. There's also Job Radio on Twitter as well. That's Bomber himself. This YouTube channel as well, and you can find Beer Me and I, BeerMeJesus on Twitter, and Cyclops Scott on Twitter, 2 S's. We are looking forward to the... it's Bound for Glory next, which is a house show. And then we've got Hell in a Cell after that. And then we've got Full Gear after that. And then Survivor Series. And potentially a takeover in the middle of that for War Games. We don't know what is official there, but that's all we've got. What we're doing here is recapping TakeOver 31, which is a dumb name, but they're numbering them now, so there you go. With what was an interesting card, which was a very good card, I thought, from the JRPL. Beer Me, I always forget to ask this afterwards, but going into it, what did you think of the results, the card? Any major surprises, any standout moments that kind of caught your eye?
Well, boss coming down after my match was,
Yeah.
just that was something. The creatures sending out a signal saying they want to be on Warden's team, and
Yep.
then doing what they did to Jace, and then Jace coming out and just saying, "Fuck it, I'm gonna level everybody out, including my own team."
Yeah.
What else was there? Oh, your match.
Yeah.
That was that was really good.
I found out what a boot camp match was.
Yeah, you did. But overall, it was really good, really good.
Well, let's dive into it. One thing we'll tease right now. We don't have much to announce for the upcoming stuff quite yet because there's something special for Survivor Series coming up as well. Beer Me alluded to it. The Warden did challenge him to a Survivor Series match. Beer Me has accepted, and we'll have more information on that as we go through here. Very, very soon we'll find out what's going on, and everything will start to make a little more sense shortly. Not that it doesn't, but it'll be brought to light. So, how's that for a tease? That's a pretty crazy one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But we do have TakeOver 31 2020, which sounds insane when you say it that way. But we do have the Top Lock Championship. It is PAYNE defending against Redhead 12, and my girl Red lost. I am
Try to
sad.
decapitate her.
Yeah, well,
Kind of.
I mean, it's PAYNE. Like, I understand what he's doing. Like, I made it very clear, and he made it very clear what happened after the clash, and now this. He took the title from her, kept it from her. I can't fault him for what he's doing in that sense. He just keeps making that target on his back brighter and brighter. So, if Red's not going to go after him, well, be able to, presumably, because won the contendership but lost the contention here, Lee and myself will have to step up, and we'll see what happens there. So,
I don't know if you want to step in front of that train. It's rolling down the track.
The PAYNE train?
It is. It doesn't look like it's making any stops right now.
It's not. Hey, remember a couple, not even a couple of weeks ago, really, but we're talking about PAYNE, and you're like, he's going to turn that corner, and he's going to really run roughshod. He's doing it. He's doing exactly what you were theorizing, like, this could happen. And everyone else kind of got a little derailed here and there, except for PAYNE, and that makes his stand out even more. That doesn't mean that he's the only one doing it. I mean, he is. But it doesn't take away from that. Like, oh, well, it's by default. He's the best one doing it. No. His is that good. It's like the whole Adesanya Costa thing. It's like, oh, he schooled him. Looks how bad he was. No. He's good, too. That's how better this guy is. That's how better PAYNE is right now. So do I want to face that? Of course I do. You want to face the best, right? So and he's got a title I haven't had yet. But as I've said before, I said it during the live chat as well on our Discord, which you can go find the link on our website. I'm not in that title picture at all. I just lost the title. I got to work my way up, see what's going on, see what I can do, string some wins together, and go after him. We see what happens. And if he happens to lose the title, I still want to face him, because at the very least, I've faced a former champion, and we'll see what we can do. So it's all how you play the game, right? So... But he did win. He did keep it away from Infinity. And speaking of Infinity, the boot camp match, it was a hardcore match. JD Onio defeated me in a boot camp, and I lost my ultra-violent championship. It is the second title I've lost after one successful defense. The other two I lost after the first time. So
at least you got a successful defense in.
I did. I really wanted that. I wanted two, because, I mean, I've had two tag title reigns. One was lost in the first defense. One I defended, then lost. Road Warrior I won and lost, and then this I won, defended, and lost. So it's like, I gotta get two defenses. Like as everybody knows, BeerMe sprung the boot camp match on me Friday before the Sunday show, and my opponent, no less. That said, it was very close, and it was tied up until one match, so... It was close. I'm not the champ anymore, and it sucks. Because I was like the top champ at Clash. And now my belt's gone. It's gone. It's not the same.
Yeah. Well, congrats to JD. I mean, he's the Grand Slam singles title winner now. He's held them all.
He is the only person to have held every singles championship. He's never been a tag champ. That is a goal I want, is to win every title. I mentioned PAYNE has one I don't have, and the world title of yours is one I don't. I've got everything else in my history. But with JD, no one else has had all the singles gold. He's the first to do that at all, so he's the Grand Slam. He does want the tag titles, but he's got no inkling towards it because he's on the singles run. He has no reason to go for it, except to try. So who knows what happens with the tournament, right? Like, you never know with the TTTC in January. He might still be this champion. He won't have a shot. Like, that. There's that kind of thing, but the idea of partnering up to face someone, I keep saying, we need teams. We need teams, so we'll see what happens. You never know. He might form a team and just go destroy people that way, too. Who knows?
Could. Very well could.
But no, he beat my ass in a boot camp. Left me bloody in the mud in barbed wire, and it sucked. It was a fun match, though. Like, to read. Not to be in.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty cool. I was wondering how you were going to pull that off, and it was very, very good.
To pull the curtain back a bit, I did talk to JD quite a bit about what a boot camp orientation would be, and the obstacle course, and the initiation, and they said, just list it, start listing it, and I'll make a match within that. And he gave me ideas for, like, death by PowerPoint with the meeting and stuff, and I realized having a portable, we'd break through a wall, and yeah, I went full heel. I was going to throw the flag in the mud, and it was... I had to go through, and it's even better that I lost, technically, in that sense, because I deserved it. Like, it's...
Right.
There's no other way to put it. I deserve to get my ass beat for that, so... But I really like that match. Congrats to JD. He ruined everything again. And onward to the Road Warrior title match. We have the Alpha Dog retaining over Kamikaze. Again, 2 points. The main event was 5 points. This was also 4 points. Kamikaze, like I said, lost by 2. As did the next one, and Basher won by 1 in his. And yeah, there's a 2-pointer there and a 4-point. These were all close, but TakeOver 5 matches. That happens. One match can ruin everything for you, like it did me. One bonus question, I would have tied. Hardcore match, lost 2 points. That became lost to 4. You're out. The bonus still would have kept me close, right? So, but
Alpha Dog
Alpha
continuing
Dog.
to roll.
Alpha Dog continuing to roll. That's like PAYNE.
Talk about
Not as good as
yeah.
PAYNE, but he's doing it. He's doing it what he needs to do, and especially as the Road Warrior champion. Good lord, you got to do that.
Yeah, he's got to be up to quite a few defenses now. He's putting in work.
I think that's his 4th already.
Yeah.
3rd or 4th. He retained against 2 cats, a boss and Cammy.
Oh
right?
my god, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, Tigress.
Tigress. What did I say, boss? A boss has made returns as well. I'm looking at the next one with you and Ash. That's why, because Alpha Dog made a run in against Vitamin on the kickoff. Boss made a run in during your match, and I'm looking at yours and Ash, and you beat him by 2. 2 world champions going at it. The title holder retained. Sorry, 1. It was non-title. But you went ahead there as well. And then, like you said, Boss interjected because Boss and Ash have had issues, and now here you are as well. It's it's been a problem for you. I mean, everybody's been a problem for you.
Yeah, everybody wants a piece of the champ.
I'll just mention the next match because we're talking about that. Bastion defeated RGX by a point. That was a fun little match to write. But again, 2 people you're very familiar with as of right now. The former contender that took you to a draw, and RGX is part of the Stone Collective, who's been a thorn in your side. So all of this is, like I said before, is very, very problematic for the champ.
Yeah.
One match that we can announce, it's the only match we can announce right now, is for Hell in a Cell. It will be Ash versus Legit Boss at Hell in a Cell.
Alright.
I'm not saying in Hell in a Cell. I'm saying at Hell in a Cell. More info will come. I'm sure there will be at least a Hell in a Cell match. BeerMe, I know you're defending. Maybe it's in a cell. Who knows? Who can say? I truly don't know for once. I can tell you that much.
I think the TOD finalists are in a Hell in a Cell, right?
They are in a Hell in a Cell, yes. So I'm not sure if the World Championship will also be in one.
Hey, that'd be cool too.
I like the idea of it. The having couple does work, but it also takes away from the specialness. It really depends on it. I'm not part of that part of things. The guys do what they do, and I'll be like, and they go from there. So we'll see how that goes. But you've got your hands full coming up at Hell in a Cell, but at least you know that Ash and Boss are occupied. So it's not going to be against either of them.
Alright.
You can knock that down. Like I said, Bastion did defeat RGX, and here's one. It's the Creatures, BeerMe. The Simple Creatures, Modstep and Chappers, the Tag Team Champions, and JJ Rocky, the Frontline Golden Boy, defeated Buckhand 5, Broken Nerd, and Jace Villain 13. They are the finalists in the TOD, as you mentioned. They, it didn't quite work well together. Didn't get the win, but it was close. So, I mean, as BeerMe says, don't bet against the Creatures.
Normally I don't, no.
No. Normally, yeah.
No.
Interesting match. Again, the final for those guys will be at Hell in a Cell. But the Creatures rebounded like they needed to after the Clash loss. To me... Sorry, I had to rub that in.
That's true. That happened.
It did happen. And JJ got a bit of redemption because he was in the tournament and didn't make it to this round. So that's a bit of redemption for him there with Jace as well. Next up, let's look at the reaction. Tino and Luke Gray defeating 3J Platinum and Hero Shin Moses. Again, interesting tandems here. Just go to the website, go to this page, and read the write-up. There's a lot going on with these guys right now. I can't even begin to sum it up because it'd be crazy. I can say that things are not over. Obviously, things are escalating. So, I mean, you're familiar with the Renaissance stuff and the reaction and Hero and these guys. Anything you want to mention about that specifically here at all, or kind of sit back and just watch this chaos unfold?
Yeah, it seems like Renaissance isn't missing a beat without Hero, and now Hero's looking to maybe get some more people to help him take on his old faction. Then
that's the interesting thing with Renaissance, because the more I thought of it, the more it looked like it was almost overblown, overstuffed might be it. I can't take them as seriously as a threat with this kind of inner turmoil, like pulling someone in, pushing someone out. They got to sort that out before they can really run roughshod on everybody, and they were on their way to do so. So they're no less of a threat overall, but right now might be the time to take them down, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
They're vulnerable right now because of this, but I don't really think anybody's capitalizing on that, and that's kind of that, right? So
yeah.
Next up, we do have Wookie defeating Forever Chillin'. Now, if you saw the graphic for this event, Forever Chillin' and Killmonger were on the marquee, and Killmonger decided against that, and has instead made a challenge for the Survivor Series against Forever Chillin'. So these two on opposing sides, apparently, it didn't do any favors for Forever Chillin'. He lost to Wookie by a point, so not a good start. Maybe that is someone that he wants to have on his side, or to keep him from being against him, or that's someone that Killmonger might be looking at. I mean, it's Wookie. Wookie's awesome, so I don't know what to really say about that. It's a problem for a lot of people, and that's going to get messy before it gets any cleaner.
Yeah.
Next up, we do have the Dark Rider defeating Cam Popplestone. I know we're both a bit bummed about that one. Cam, we were hoping for, but Dark Rider, it's the work he's got to do. This is the rebound period to get back on track. So I'm happy to see it for Dark Rider. The Dark Rider. But Cam, he's been here. He'll be here again. He'll bounce back from that, I believe. It's just a matter of time. Like we said, Alpha Dog, PAYNE, Dark Rider now starting to string it together. It's all you got to do. Get a couple and you're good. Like the GMSG. Finally didn't get a tie. Not that he didn't last time, but you know what I mean. Or no, he did. Yeah. Against Stella. Mr. Money in the Bank. This opened the main show. And I will admit, I went a little different on the match. I kind of had to end in a move after a bit of a brawl. One-sided, but it's opportunist to opportunist, You got to do what you got to do. So I thought it fit well with their characters and kind of played off GMSG and Bastion's recent experience together. GMSG was a win twice was a win away from being the king who could have faced you and become the world champion and been cashed in on. So he's very parallel to that whole situation. So getting the win here has got to feel good, though. Again, Money in the Bank would have made that score 23-31. So he would have lost if it was a cash in. But or Stella's got another loss. And I mean, look at real wrestling. The Money in the Bank person usually loses a bit before they cash in. I have no idea when our Stella's going to cash in. At this point.
I don't either.
I truly don't.
Just waiting.
It's almost worse now, like we said, right? It's because now you don't expect it. Now I'm worried it's going to come out of nowhere and like, oh no. So,
right? Yeah, it'll happen when I least expect it. Or who knows? I might lose the title before then, and it'll be somebody else's problem. You never know. That's
true. That's true. If he waits till after Hell in a Cell, it very well could be somebody else. I like the idea, though. Like, how could he cash in during Hell in a Cell? Because you're locked in a cell if you're in a cell match. So he wouldn't really be able to get in, would he?
You wouldn't think so.
I mean, there's ways, but that just... If you somehow are in a cell match and take a beating, he can't really capitalize as long as the cell's down. So there's
right.
A problem there. So he's got to think of that if that's what he's doing. That's what I would think of, at least. So, not saying that BeerMe's defending in a cell match, but these are the things you have to worry about. This when you're the world champion, this is the stuff you deal with, and you're on 10 months of it. So there you go. BeerMe, we have the continuation now of something very important. It is the CT slide. CT lost the bomber. He got Derby Deeds and just planted, and yeah.
It's up to 7.
Is it 7
now?
Oh,
yeah.
RGX
is at 6, so
yeah. I mean, not to knock RGX, but he's a new guy, and it happens. But CT, dude. I mean, again, I had double digits, so it can happen. We'll see how far the CT slide goes. Speaking of slides, Daddy Cream. I'll say it again, Daddy Cream. Daddy Fatsack and Cremador defeated Age of Annihilation members Hawk and the Urban Legend, and again it was close. It was only 2 points.
Yo, Hawk didn't want any part of that match. He
Nope.
just had too much fun watching Urban get crap beat out of him.
Yep.
So,
And we're starting to see what it's all about for Hawk, right? Like it's
hmm
I can get behind it. I like what he's doing now. He's kind of just he's in no rush. Is really what it is. He's in no hurry, and everybody else is paying for it. So I like that. That's fun. Vitamin Yes defeated Nathan 8K. The Green Machine defeated Jut Jut. Big win for Green. Not that Jut Jut's really been a notable one of late. He's, do you want to talk slides? He's been inconsistent and had a rough spot. But he's a name. I've never beaten him. He's former world champion. He's former main eventer of WrestleMania. He's one of the best we've had. That's a good win for Green. That's what Green needed, I think. So definitely a good one there. The Midnight Rider defeated LJ. It almost feels like it's a couple shows too late because he could have had the Road Warrior title. You know,
yep.
it bums me out. And I'll be honest, their scores were low. So was the Nate Sniper versus Lucha Warrior match with a no contest of 18-18. Ryder and LJ was 19-17. So it's a rough one for LJ, but it happens when you're there every time, like he is, like I am, like you are. You lose some, and sometimes it's not as important. This is a main show, so it is important, but it does happen. The flip side of that is got Ray Wrestle beating the Finn, former world champion, 2-time. Good win for the newcomer. Even though, again, Finn, he's 2-time world champion, but he's also like Jut Jut. He's more of a name than anything right now, but
Yeah.
it's a dangerous commodity because if you can win, you're good. If you lose, you're on a different rough patch. So,
Yeah, Ray Russell's been on a roll though.
he has very quietly under the radar.
Yeah.
Which is the worst kind for some people because suddenly you're up against this guy and you don't realize what you're in for. So I like that a lot. I like that a lot with Ray Wrestle. Speaking of, I'm going to skip the next one to say the same thing about Cian Blair defeating Woody. That's a big rebound after the TOD elimination. Cian Blair defeating Woody. Again, former world champion, former WrestleMania main eventer, one of the bigger names we've had. Went away for a while, has come back, and has been very inconsistent, as it happens. I've been there too, and so have you. But Cian Blair getting the win, he still beat Woody on a main show. That matters. That's a big deal. And now I'll jump back up and say Tom beat Rab on a big show. And it was on a main show, and it was a big win, 18-11. So that's one of the bigger gulfs there was. But again, Rab might have gotten 3 matches wrong, and there you go. So that's all it takes because he got 2 right. So rounding it out, we've got Spring Tigress defeating Kyoko, Cassius defeating CJ Blackthorn, and then the newcomers usually at the bottom. We've got Darius Shade defeating Frozzy, and Bafopta64 defeating Castor Rathbone. So Rathbone's been handed a loss, but Bafopta has gotten a win. So, and I will mention actually down here, Cassius, he did lose 5 points because he submitted late. However, he still got the win, 19-17. So his score should have been 24, which is actually one of the better ones because the highest possible score you could get is 28. So, yeah, that the fact that Darius Shade got 24, holy crap, that's really good. 25 for Green Machine. I think those are some of the higher ones. 25 for PAYNE, but top lock, so things change on those, obviously up and down. But yeah, this was JRPL TakeOver 31 2020. A big mouthful to say, but there is the full write-up results there. Please go through, like I said, and read through these. We put a lot of work into these. I say it every time, but I mean it every time because we do it every time. There's a lot of cool stuff in here, a lot of storylines, a lot of things unfolding, and it's getting to a really sweet spot with Survivor Series where stuff's going to really start kicking off, with a lot of this factoring in on where we go next. Now, where we go next, like I said, is, as I scroll, Bound for Glory. And Bound for Glory is a house show. So for those who have not been paying attention, with the JRPL, that is a house show. It does not matter as far as your win-loss record, aside from consideration for the Road Warrior Championship, which, if you have been paying attention, which has become my new catchphrase, it means that you defend that title every show, house show or not. So Bound for Glory is simply an Impact show, AEW, Impact, and my brain is failing me. Ring of Honor are house shows. WWE and NXT, obviously, are main shows. Those ones matter for everything as far as for your positioning and whatnot. But storyline goofiness happens at Bound for Glory, and oftentimes people throw out challenges and make silly matches. But also, as BeerMe knows, we sometimes try to put story beats in there as far as for when things can happen when it, quote-unquote, doesn't matter. So you can build towards the other things and make it like, I don't want to call it a filler episode, but it is a spot to really flesh out stuff you want to happen. Like most of my Survivor Series team last year was named during these kind of things. So this is going to be an interesting one. It is October 24th. That's a Saturday. For some reason, Impact does them on Saturdays. They just decided that, and they're still doing that, which is weird and a bit rough for me because sometimes I'm busy Saturdays. But BeerMe and I haven't challenged each other yet to a match. I don't know if we're gonna. It's Impact. We might.
Right.
I don't know yet. I'm waiting to see. We don't have any matches to announce for this yet. There will be the Road Warrior title match, which it's blank here because we didn't have the results yet, but it is all being updated. It was only done about an hour or so before we started recording tonight. For the record, that's Wednesday, October 7th. But the Road Warrior Championship will be the Alpha Dog defending against somebody. I don't even know who that is yet. But as I scroll through that one, we come to Hell in a Cell. We've got a bit of information there. And then we continue through to Full Gear. House show. Doesn't matter. House show. But does matter because we have some of the most fun with these ones. Like you've heard me talk for a half hour now. You know what this is. And then we keep scrolling through and we'll get to Survivor Series and potentially the TakeOver. That's where we're going to leave it for here because what we're going to be doing is cutting this Frontline short at this point. Because we have a very special Frontline tomorrow. Yes, we're doing 2 in a week, but this one's going to be a little different. And BeerMe's aware, and so is the other guy. What this is going to be is the acceptance of the Survivor Series match with BeerMe and the Warden. They are both going to be on Frontline. They are both going to be here tomorrow night. They will be live via satellite for my recording of it. And they'll be announcing their teams for the Survivor Series. Now,
stacked teams.
BeerMe does have...
team. At least my team is stacked.
Yeah, it's true. To pull back the curtain a little bit, I believe that BeerMe knows who his team is. I believe Warden knows who his team is. And that CT knows who both are. Because he's coordinating. I don't even know if everybody on the teams knows who all else is on the teams. Like, do your 5 all know each other is on the team yet, BeerMe?
I let one of my teammates know because they asked me. The others did not. So
that's even
or
better.
Maybe I let 2 of them know. I don't know. I think I only let one of them know.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's fun. That's gonna
be, the others didn't. Yeah, the others didn't ask me. So I was just like, all right, well, this is
So that's
it's gonna be good.
That's gonna happen tomorrow. It's gonna be a little more. We're gonna pull the curtain up for that one. We're going to be a little more in character. So for those who've seen my promos, I won't be screaming during it like my one that set my alarm off that I recorded against JD. But it will be a promo type a little more. The guys can be as in character as they want. It's going to be that. It's not going to be like full on actual stuff, but we're going to give it a shot and do it. It's only fair to give it its due. I think this is something I want to try for a while. So we're going to do that for everybody tomorrow. Like I said, it's going to be a little more in character. Which is going to be interesting for me to intro. Because how do I do that as, the heel that I portray? I don't quite know yet. I'll figure that out. But that is the plan for tomorrow. You've only got to wait 24 hours, everybody. There's going to be a little post-production I do to it to make it kind of stand out. It's not a draft, but we can have some fun with it. Are you looking forward to tomorrow, champ?
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
This, of course, is pending, and, if stuff happens, and we record it later. It happens. But we will have this for you Thursday. Had to think for a sec. I think we're good to just call it, and we'll reconvene tomorrow. How about that?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, so everybody, Jobber Radio, stay tuned. 24 hours-ish. You'll see the Survivor Series teams revealed. And for those wondering... why the heck we're announcing the main event Survivor Series teams before the card's even there? And before we've announced stuff for Bound for Glory and Full Gear and all this other stuff. It's because things sometimes play in, and we might see some matches that make sense after those teams are announced and we see where things go. So, like I said, it'll all be clear. That's what it's going to be. So, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, Beer Me. Get your game face on. It's going to be the first time you've seen Warden. Well, really, I mean, you didn't see him when he knocked you out and said you survived. So, first time you've seen him since, I think, the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Yeah. It should be a fun night, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's a loaded way to put it. It's not going to be... It's going to be emotional and traumatic and fun. Yeah, those are good things for a wrestling show.
Right.
Yeah, we'll call it there. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night.